about the Matrix?
The Matrix. Well, indeed, but we all enjoyed
That's
that. It's who knows?
mm,
Who knows? But again, like all the advisors and those are the writers of those, they understand science.
yeah.
They're not just making something up.
Are
And
are you familiar with familiar with the concept then that it's we live in an illusion? Yeah, that it's a projection.
yeah,
The hologram.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we experience it in a physical format.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very, it's very hard to know. I suppose that's some of the premise of the Matrix, basically that it's not real. It's all computer stuff in the background. Maybe it is. I don't know for sure. I can't say for sure.
Mm.
But the different ways that you can, view that, evaluate it, think about it, it's very hard to know for sure. And there was an interesting thing in a film I remember just came to mind there. I think it was Cuba Gooding Jr. and Anthony Hopkins years ago. But one of this notion about a Cuba Gooding Jr. was trying to investigate Anthony Hopkins, and he got him in a headlock and was choking him. And he was asking him what he took away, and he said, "Oh no, you never had any control." And eventually, the idea of what he took away was his illusion of control. And we all go through our own world with a bit of an illusion about I can control this, I can impact that. We probably only really control ourselves. But you add all this extra layer with computation and generative AI and artificial intelligence and stuff in the background, and it's changing, and it's going to change a lot more. Unless we have a massive solar flare and every computer chip gets fried,
Mm.
it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
And the world and the views, or how we view it, is changing, and it's changed from someone born in the last 10 years to someone born 20 years ago to I'm approaching
1,000 years
50,
ago.
like, so
Yeah.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
you learnt in a different way. But this is what is real. And that's the thing. If you spend so much time online, and this is what happened to that poor kid who became very friendly with ChatGPT and had suicidal thoughts, and it didn't really stop him. If anything, there's a big court case going on to say that it encouraged him and encouraged him to hide it from his parents. That was his world. His world was this interaction with an AI, an artificial type of intelligence that is programmed to maintain conversation, not to annoy him, to keep him going. And it did some crazy things. And they didn't really know. It told him like to hide nooses and stuff like that. It was quite horrific what has happened. Um, but we're not the only ones who know about this. There are a lot of people who are concerned. There's a very strong grouping in the US they call themselves the Center for Humane Technology. And they cared a lot. And they had a podcast. They have an interesting podcast called Your Undivided Attention. And they talk about these things often. But they have been presenting to rooms full of Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, or all these top ones, and Congress in the US. And they're trying to see what they can do. But they can see with anything, and I use this all the time with any type of technology or any research anyone's doing, you can see good stuff for it. And it's good stuff that often drives it. And there's a big, massive organization called AI number 4 good. AI for good. Brilliant. First thing comes to my mind, I know it's my cynical bunkranniness, is AI for bad.
What is your thoughts on it?
I think I asked my students, and they told me this was Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. I know it's a line from a film, but there is great power and there's great responsibility in it. If you use this example, I often use this of the internet already, and the AI has made it worse. If you had a child and they were learning, right, and there was a library, if you imagine this library that contains all the knowledge in the world, how to do everything, would you let your child wander around there? Showed everything, all type as bad as you can think and as good as you think. Would you let them wander around freely? Probably not. Would else take them around? You let somebody else guide them around and tell them what's important and what's not? As a parent, you probably wouldn't.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. That's kind of what we're doing. Oh, they're just on their device. Oh, they're just on YouTube. Oh, they're just on. And unfortunately, many parents don't know.
It is kind of the wild, wild west, isn't it? The internet, but it's always been that way.
It has always been that way, but every so often there's big shifts, big move ons, and the initial one, email, we can communicate far away, and then things like when Facebook got really big and people could communicate, and people. Do you ever notice this about friends on Facebook, or using Facebook as an example? A lot of the time, people. I used to have this loose rule. I hope I didn't non-friend anyone who hears me saying this, but if I wanted, someone sent me a friend request of someone at the time I would sit down and have a beer with, I'll accept the friend request. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't. That was just my own rule. I just made this up. But now people just accept anything and everyone. Like, I've got so many followers. I've got so many, people coming in. But It really is. This has been another change because the power has ramped up. Like something people that were quite good at it maybe could say, it's got much better. And it's getting better and better, and it's getting better able to understand us, whatever the type of understanding is. And this is what the magic in this GPT, the generative pre trained transformers, the transformer stuff, gets much better at figuring out what we meant and what we would go. And the large language models are for language, for text and things like that, but that's how we use to communicate, and that's how we use to express what's happening. But it's got very good at understanding and comprehending. Remember that fun we had to do in English? You do a comprehension, people go, oh, it's a real pain. Fun. Not fun. But the purpose of what they were teaching was to try to teach people to understand. And this is one of the things with reading, the idea of like not just reading like 3 lines, but actually reading a book. You're supposed to be able to figure out, like most of us have difficulty with something like Shakespeare, right? Depending on if you like it or not, or some kind of poetry, it's a bit far away. But a good story we can probably understand, and we can see, and even a kid can see. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes, the fairy tale about everyone tells him it looks great, and then the kid says, "Oh, he's not wearing it." People can all understand that. Children can understand that because it's a lesson to don't just follow everyone. Some of them are more complex, but the comprehension, what the teachers are actually trying to do is trying to teach you to be able to comprehend what is written down. And normally computers couldn't do that because they're calculators. Like computation is a calculation. That's what computers are. And information technology is technology to move information. But being able to, these can comprehend a lot. And it's not just, I am angry. They could comprehend a whole sentence, like maybe, I am annoyed. Today I was walking down the road and I saw a customer who last week annoyed me. They can link the bit of way at the end of the sentence about the customer, and that because normally they just work on what's the next word and the next word and the next word, but these GPTs, they can do really complex things, and they can do it through whole books. And if you try to give it something, you can give it like pages and pages and pages of stuff and say what's the main theme, what's the important bit, and pull it out. Then you give it to someone who's trained at doing that, and they'll come up with almost exactly the same thing. The power, like they couldn't do that for a long time. And this has increased massively in about 3 years since the first ones came out. They've really just, their ability has gone through the roof. So you apply that for your homework and it's a problem and people don't want to cheat and things like that. But you then put that to, this is who they're talking to all the time. Like we're talking now. Before we connected a few weeks ago, we hadn't talked in years. And we have a vague idea of each other, and we know we're probably not crazy, hopefully. But you've no idea what this is. And if someone, like all in their family, go, someone's a new friend, and they're a bit, I don't know, I'm wary of them.
Yeah.
But people are doing this all the time. They're doing it, they're just in their bedroom. They're just on their phone. I don't know what they're doing. They're only playing a game. They're only doing whatever. And unfortunately, it's a big worry because the younger people have no qualms or no worries about figuring it out.